Hello! Warm regards? Ooh, that's one I haven't used. Warm regards, everybody. I guess let's jump right into the Neo80 Cu, shall we? Alright, so starts at 209. The color options are great. The Mont Blanc is my favorite. I don't know if I got the Mont Blanc today, but the Jade's also really pretty. The taupe gray is pretty. You know, I hate saying this, but the slate blue is not bad either. But the Mont Blanc looks amazing. It's like one of my favorite colors here, followed up by Jade. I think the Jade is actually quite nice as well. So we have some really fire colors there, 9 total ones. I think my least favorite is probably just gonna be, you know, I'm really not vibing with teal this time around, and maybe black, but black's always a good one if you just want to go stealthy. Maybe teal's my least favorite. Okay, let's just look at all the accessories, I guess, first. I have to double check if you get stabs. I feel like you might, but maybe you don't. Oh, like a little accessories kit with like a switch puller, a screwdriver, a cable, which, oh boy. Did I get a PEI plate? Alu, oh, this is the chamfered one? Yeah, they sent us a tri-mode PCB. So we have a hot swap PCB today, which will look more in detail when we open this up. We got gaskets here. Looks like we also have some other little accessories. We'll go through all these when we open up the board more. F1 heavy? I think it's heavier than the F1. Ooh, the Jade is nice in person. Oh shit, I actually really like this. The side profile on this is really sharp. That is quite the side profile. I mean, I haven't even really given this a 360 yet, and I'm already sold just off of this one feature. Like this little seam over here that kind of expands in the middle and tapers downwards. This beautiful curve over here. I think they did a lovely job with this. Lovely, lovely job with the side profile. So that seam kind of continues on all around the board, which is nice. Kind of maintains its width in the back. And then we have the weight, which waterfalls, I guess not really waterfalls in this case, but it almost acts like the little Poron kind of thing. Here's the bottom. My camera might struggle with this. Very, very cool. I think there's plastic on this. Should I peel this off now? Ooh. That's nice. The coating on this, minus like the one or two pieces of dust that maybe have settled in it already. The PVD on this, or I'm guessing this is a PVD. I don't know if this is some other type of coating on this. This is beautiful. It is like mirror finished. So if this was a PVD, again, I'm not 100% positive on the process on this, but there is no rippling, no nothing. This is as clean as it gets for reflections. You can even see my light. Now I'm curious to see what this particular cost is for this unit. So right away, okay, I don't think this is bad. Would have I liked maybe something a bit bigger for sure? But I really don't think this little accent badge thing is all that bad, guys. When people were telling me about this, they were making this seem like the devil made this, bro. They were like telling me this was like part of the rapture that was happening. I don't mind it. Like, would I prefer it without it? Maybe not. It's not that bad. So, thin side bezels. Bigger top, bigger bottom. Hidden screw design with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. Okay. All right. I would say this is a very classic top shape. There's nothing really crazy. It doesn't like protrude outwards anywhere. It's nice. I think the selling point for me is this giant, really nicely done back piece over here. I really like the shape of this too. I like how it cuts into the board. I really like how this tapers inwards as well. Wonderful job on the side profile and how it kind of blends into the bottom and even back. The one thing I am still not 100% sold on though, the compass. I guess I'm just not 100%. I just maybe don't love it. It's actually not as bad on this board. I'm not sold on the compass. Cool though. Very, very cool. So let's take a look more at the group by page. All right, so we can skip all the way to the bottom. Okay, actually we'll stop right here. So Star Ring Accent Light, inspired by massive celestial bodies. I already read through this once with you guys, but we can read it over again. The Neo80 Cu top case features a multi-layered star ring. But I don't understand why they couldn't do something also celestial on the back of the keyboard too. I guess the compass sort of ties in with this, maybe? But I would have loved to see something like this on the back of the keyboard too, or the bottom. Yeah, the side profile, I mean, this is a good representation. I think the side profile is slick, dude. It is slick. So this is what I really like about this board, by the way. I love that they went back to a Poron gasket structure for this. But I think I've been missing just that Poron gasket sound, because it does have kind of its own unique sound profile. So I'm glad that they give us the option to just do Poron gaskets as well. So it has Poron gasket, silicone gasket, and top mount. The silicone gaskets look like they're going to be a lot firmer, probably a bit more dense. And then we have our standardized top mount here. And then we have the acoustic chamber design, which is just really those things I tell you guys about like every stream when we see boards with this. Ridges on the board help deflect sound differently. It also helps get rid of like unwanted ping and stuff like that too. And it looks like they're also doing an integrated force break, which hit and miss. Integrated force breaks I find are hit and miss. So we shall see how that really, really works. All right, that's a nice touch too. I haven't seen them do this yet in a board. That feels a bit premium. I like that. Is it only this one here that comes with the flexes? So what's the actual aluminum plate look like? Let me triple check here. Is there a difference? I don't know for sure. Ah, there is a bit of a difference. The chamfered one has all the flex cuts, which may turn you off from buying this. I'm curious. I still want to use the aluminum today. We can always do another build another day with some different switches with the PEI plate. I like what they did with the PCB here. So hot swap options, fairly good. Can't really complain. No ISO though, which is a bit of a bummer. There is a toggle in the same place that we always see in Neo boards, which is under the caps lock. Can't say that I love that. You know what would have been really cool if they can implement this in maybe future boards? You see how this is, by the way, this is not a criticism. It's more of an observation. I personally prefer when keyboards that offer wireless and Bluetooth have an external switch. How cool would it have been if they had made this like rotate to be the switch for that? All right though, cool. Got a little daughterboard over here, little mini pogo pin, which is kind of cute. And then we have our flex cuts, or not flex cuts, our mounting points over here with some relief cuts. I like what they did with these. I like how these mounts work. So they kind of branch off into two sections, which should help this be a little bit less rigid. But I like what they did with this too. All right, question. Are you guys team badge or not team badge? There's no right or wrong answer here, by the way. This is purely preference. It does seem like some people like it. It does seem like some people don't. I'm on team. I don't mind it. I don't think it takes away from the board at all personally, but, and you guys know me, I'll voice it usually, but I actually think it looks pretty. Here is the integrated force break, so it doesn't need to be installed by us. So that's already there, and it's not anything but basically a thin layer of like foam sheet. Okay, that's good to see. That's a good thing to see here too. Guess I'll put on the feet after I'm done this here. Oh, they give you two colors of feet too, which is very pleasant. I don't know which one we'll use today. And these are top mount screws, I guess. So let me see about the Poron gasket placement first. So apparently this is a non-adhesive way to do this. So this just really sits in place here and then that's it. Interesting. Well, if you use adhesive, so I understand their point here. If you use any adhesive Poron gaskets, then you're locked into really using these. That's it. You have this and maybe a top mount. But if you use these kind of gaskets, you can still play around with other mounts, which I assume that's what they wanted to do with offering silicone as an alternative as well. But I have a feeling that the Poron's going to be kind of my favorite, but we'll see. What do you guys think? Actually, it looks really good with Dandy. Dandy was a good choice. Let's see how this sounds. We're using MX2As on the aluminum plate. The MX2As are done with a 60-gram sprit spring, Desky films, and 205G0. We're using GMK ABS keycaps. This is GMK Dandy. We're using the chamfered aluminum plate. All right, let's type. Let's see how this sounds and feels. I think it's on wireless mode right now, which is fine because I don't want to type anything anyways. So this is, you can already tell, this has a more subtle pop overall. There's a definite deepness that is very persistent in the CU lineup. It's just very, very dense, which might be some people's cup of tea. I'm going to tell you guys this. This is not a negative point. This is not a criticism point. This is what to expect with going with these really dense bottom brass pieces. This is why I slightly prefer the Core series. So, but we can try some different mounting styles here, which I think will be fun to do on this particular board. All right. Way thuddier now. Not in a bad way though. It's actually interesting. It's a very, very deep sound profile. I actually think this would be really nice with tactiles. This with a like the Gateron Quins that we used the other day. Oh. Okay, I still prefer the Poron here. This is interesting though. I like how night and day this is, by the way. Time for a little top mount. I like the sound being produced from this. There is a little bit of thuddiness coming from something, which I probably need to open this up and figure out what the hell it is. But this is, I think, the most balanced of all the sounds so far, I want to say. Like, this genuinely sounds really good compared to the other ones. I don't know if it's the feet. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to just see if it's maybe a screw point or let's see what it is. All right, so I guess next up I kind of have to figure out what's contacting. And the only thing that even makes sense is if these aren't thick enough over here, where this is contacting, so the force brake tape they pre-installed just isn't doing a good enough job. Or if it's the side walls touching these. So let's experiment. Stab sticker time. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a sticker on the inside over here. So just like that, and just see if that helps with the side at all as well. It might not even fit. It might actually just like tear off as I put the case in. The tolerances might be too much for this, but we shall see. Yeah. Okay. Definitely sounds really good though now. So, last test we're going to do for this now is go back to the Poron with this little fix that we did here. Oh, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, look, the alphas all seem like they got a little bit more like... Oh yeah, dude. It's definitely still a little deeper because of the brass bottom, but this is nice. I do think they need to add some sort of buffer force break on the sides that kind of interact and touch the sides of the copper or the brass. And then I do think they need to double up on the force breaks. But yes, those small little things, small little tweaks, I think will make a lot of people very, very happy at the end of the day. Lovely looking keyboard though. If you wanted something that felt, I think the key takeaway here too is like this feels incredibly premium. And there's not a single iteration of this that goes above $299, unless you're getting extra pieces. Absolutely looks stunning. The side profile is just to die for. Like, this looks great. You know, I would actually even say, now that we've done some of these little fixes, I would actually rank this particular board alongside how much I liked the Core series. And if you guys remember, even while I did the original CU stuff and then I did the Core series right after, I was like, man, I wish I got to try this before the CU, because I'm always a bit more on the Core series sound signatures. But I think this sound signature works really well here. I really do think it's because they decided to go with Poron gaskets. So really, really, really nice addition of using Poron gaskets here too. But this is fun. So I guess the bottom line is if you want something a bit more dense sounding, this honestly is pretty bright with the Poron. I think this is a good pickup, but this is heavy. So you also have to like a heavy keyboard. I think it was like, what, 4.6 kilos or something? Bye everybody, love you. Talk to you later. And sleep well, please. And have a good Wednesday. Bye everybody.